The leader of the Oath Keepers, Stewart Rhodes, was currently on trial for seditious conspiracy, wants to wash his hands of the whole thing and blame someone else, of course. Specifically, pointing at one of his fellow Oath Keepers for the decision to enter the Capitol building on January 6th. So now, Politico's Kyle Cheney reports that Rhodes, during his Monday morning testimony, claimed that, hey, look, I didn't want the Oath Keepers in the Capitol building. I really didn't. I didn't tell them to go in there. I didn't say go in. I didn't want them in there. So you can't blame me for what they did. Oh, really? Well, then, who did? Well, he pointed at fellow Oath Keeper Kelly Meggs and said that he had gone off mission. It was him. Get him. It wasn't me. No, it was Kelly. He did it. He led the group inside. In fact, Rhodes told the court, I didn't want them getting wrapped up in all the nonsense with Trump supporters. Bro, you're a Trump supporter. Why were you there? If not, my goal was to make sure that no one got wrapped up in that Charlie Foxtrot going on inside the Capitol. And look, we all know what he means by Charlie Foxtrot. Clusterfuck. Well, gee, if it was such a mess, and you knew it was going to be such a mess, then why did your people go there to begin with? What was the point? Yeah. Again, I'm going to call bullshit. Again, Oath Keepers were only there for one reason, and that one reason was to help in the reinstallation of Donald Trump as an illegitimate president. Now, look, let me give some nuance here and kind of explain what's going on. So there's two parts to this coup, right? There was the rioters, who would never have been able to hold, the Capitol building. They would have been cleared out, and really, that was not the main focus here. The main focus was actually dealing with Trump and his inner circle and the fake electors, as well as Mike Pence, that was asked to delay the certification of the election. Of course, we got all that from Steve Bannon, Peter Navarro, that whole Green Bay sweep, and all of that stuff. But this was part of that distraction. That distraction, however, might have led to, like Mike Pence, Nancy Pelosi, AOC, other members of Congress possibly getting hurt or killed had they not been evacuated. That said, these militia guys were likely serving as brown shirts. They couldn't wait to go in. They couldn't wait to F things up. Prosecutors alleged that Rhodes and four of the militia members actually spent months planning this, training in an armed rebellion, and had guns stashed in the Washington, D.C. hotel. And while Rhodes did not enter the building, prosecutors alleged that he directed his group from afar, like a general, as they stormed into the Capitol. Now, it's kind of funny that they use that analogy, because it sounds about right. Generals never go into the fray. And in this case, whatever happened in the field would give implausible deniability. So very likely, he had this defense ready beforehand. Now, where's the evidence, of course, that Rhodes was giving orders? Well, jurors were shown surveillance footage and text messages, and also saw a recording of Rhodes 4 days after the riot, in which he said his only regret was not bringing rifles to the Capitol. So if he wanted his people armed and admitted it after the fact, then it's very clear that he wanted those people to go in. Here's what he said. Quote, "We could have fixed it right then and there. I'd hang effing Pelosi from the lamppost." Of course, when he was asked about this comment, he was like, "Oh, I just had a couple of drinks at dinner, Hey, look, you have a couple of beers. talk about a little bit of treason. It's normal. It's beer guy talk. I like beer. I drink beer. I like beer. Sometimes I say things I don't mean, like, hanging a United States Congresswoman. I mean, it doesn't everybody, right? Right? Consider the timing here, by the way, of this of these comments being brought up. It's not long after an unhinged lunatic attacked the Pelosi household. I'm not saying that they're related. I'm just saying the timing is interesting here. And this lunatic had done so after consuming right-wing conspiracy theories. For example, mass voter fraud, election fraud in 2020. But no, on a stand Monday, Rhodes told jurors that he had spent the morning at the riots at the hotel and only went to the Capitol when he learned the news that the barricades at the government building had been breached by the rioters. He said it had never crossed his mind that Oath Keepers had entered the building and insisted that he never suggested anyone go disrupt the electoral certification, and claimed that it wasn't until later that evening he learned his rogue group had stormed the Capitol and immediately voiced his concerns with their actions. It was not our mission that day to enter the Capitol for any reason, he added under cross-examination. I think anyone who assaults a police officer should be prosecuted, he said about what he called the horrific events at the Capitol. We have absolutely zero tolerance for someone putting hands on a police officer. Oh, okay, so no tolerance for putting hands on a police officer. Should never do that. But a United States Congresswoman, string her up. That's what they were saying. Hang my pants. Oh, let me forget. Oh, it's hang my pants. That's it. They were just doing laundry. That's what they were doing. They were supporting laundry. You see, everybody else, the Antifers, we're doing hang my pants. We're really, all the Oath Keepers were in there chanting, hang my pants. You see? That's how that all went down. Yeah, that's her story. They're sticking to it. Let me tell you. Look, obviously ridiculous, but he gave himself away. Earlier in the trial, he had said, quote, I support the right to riot, before correcting himself to say, I support the right to protest. Or always, I support the right to bring my laundry to the Capitol building. They've got a good dry cleaner. What can I say? Hang my pants. No, that seems more than just an oopsie to me, but that's just, that's my take here. Now, prosecutors also displayed evidence that the Oath Keepers had stockpiled the firearms, as I mentioned earlier, in a hotel room outside of Washington for so-called quick reaction forces that could be deployed into the nation's capital. Quick reaction force, huh? Gee, for what? For what? What are you reacting to, buddy? Please tell me. Look, if you weren't planning on joining the rioters, why bring your guns? Really? Did you expect there to be some sort of violence? And why would you do that? Why would you expect violence? Oh, no, it's the left. It's the left. I thought the left were a bunch of soy latte drinking people who hate guns. Why do they never get their story straight? Either the left is like jackbooted thugs and that are incredibly dangerous, or they're soy swilling, latte drinking, wearing mom jeans with, man buns and eating soy and literally beta males. I don't understand. They have two different, it's like Schrodinger's leftist. Which one's right? Which one's right? Look, but here's the thing, okay? It seems pretty obvious that they weren't planning on aiding the police, considering how his group was the one who charged in with the mob that was beating up police. And so there's two possibilities here. Either he had no control over his own people, which says something about, of course, his management style that nobody listens to the leader of this Oath Keepers. So I'm guessing that those people had broken said oath, whatever that is. Or the more real possibility is he wanted them there, even though he had a plan for plausible deniability. Which is it? Because that's the only two options I see. Look, the guy's covering his ass, obviously, and is throwing, his allies or friends, even his former lawyer, under the bus. Rhodes pointed the finger at his one-time attorney, Kelly Sorrell, for the decision of the Oath Keepers to delete messages they had sent one another from their phones. Rhodes said of his conversation with Sorrell, quote, "I told her to tell them to use their rights to remain silent. She added on her own to delete them." Really? How convenient. How convenient it is that those messages are gone. That prevents that from being used against you and allowing you to, blame your ex-lawyer. That's great. In his own telling, Stewart Rhodes is just an innocent bystander. No, not just an innocent bystander, but a protector of the police, a protector of the Capitol building itself, and furthermore, a hero that should be lauded, but was betrayed by those around him and is now unfairly targeted by the police, by the left. Right. Main character syndrome all the way. Hell of a story. I don't believe a damn bit of it. And I hope the jury doesn't either.